Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown, the unofficial sumo podcast for official sumo fans. This is Mac.
This is Ryan.
Jake.
God, I'm in the upper right hand corner, Jake. It's my turn.
This is Flerick.
There we go.
There it is.
I wonder if you're going to say it again, Jake. So once it's just on top of people.
Oh, I see. No, not really.
Yeah.
No,
I feel like the two guys whose voices are most often confused saying their names at the same time is really good podcasting.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
And what is fantastic podcasting is waiting 30 seconds to tell you that this is our Hatsu 2026 Midway episode. We are recording this after day 8, after the Emperor came and watched at least some of day 8. They weren't there for the whole thing, not even all the top division matches. So we didn't get the special Dohyo Iri that I was hoping we'd be able to see. The Emperor took their sweet time showing up to the dojo today, showing up to the Kokugi Con, and so we just got normal Dohyo Iri and about half a day's worth of Emperor Sumo. But if you have not watched through day 8, now is your chance to be like Flerick 1 hour ago. Pause, watch a full week of sumo, and then come back, join us, and listen to the rest of the day 8 breakdown. Before we get to the first week's action, we've got a few compliments for new patrons.
To Liam Howard, of all the Liams out there, you are by far the best. And that includes Liam Neeson, Liam O'Brien, and Liam Hemsworth.
Hey, I've heard of 2 of those Liamans.
Yeah, who's Liam O'Brien?
Liam.
Conan's brother, I assume.
What? No,
Oh,
Liam.
yes.
No, voice actor.
Of the only O'Briens in the world. Boy, it's great to have that boy as one of our boys.
Boys.
Can it go with the one that I wrote in there, Jake?
Oh, I didn't see that you wrote something in there as well, but it was worse than mine, so I'm not upset.
It's pretty bad.
All right. And to Brian, if our new patron Brian was an Ozeki or Yokozuna, he would never disappoint the Emperor and lose in front of him and his family, causing great dishonor.
Yeah, not a great day for the day 8. Not a banner day for our top ranked Rikishi, the ones that we would expect to kind of put out their best for the Emperor should they decide to come around for the first time in 6 years, as we have Kotozakura going down to Oho, Aonishiki going down to Kirishima, Hoshoryu dropping to Daisho, and Ono Sato getting absolutely bulldozed by Haku no Fuji. So all of our Ozeki, all of our Yokozuna failing to deliver a win in front of the Emperor here on day 8.
You got to wonder if the Emperor's like, and this is why I don't come here. This is why I don't do this. These guys
I'm getting
lose.
a new country. This one sucks. The wrestlers in this country don't even work for me when I show up. I'm getting a new one. Real quick, Amazumo update. As always, go to ussumo.org where we have all of our events and such posted. The big deal right now is Nationals is coming up on March 28th in Las Vegas, Nevada. We do not have registration open yet, but we are getting information up on the website so everybody can get their hotels and flights booked, etc. And most importantly, renew your membership for 2026 so you can vote for this guy for USSF president. Everybody guess which direction I am on the screen and point at it.
There it is.
Right, that
That way.
Ryan's right. Mac didn't get it. Flerick is wisely bowing out.
Wait a minute.
Mac, just point down.
No, it's like, but on my screen he's here, and the other one he's over there. It's
But on the official YouTube video, he will be below
I feel
you.
like our video editor should be the guy that knows like how the layout works the best, but I guess alas. But yes, ussumo.org, that's where you can go. Make sure to renew your membership. Like I said, if you do not renew your membership for 2026, you will not be able to vote in the election that is coming up. So go do that. Make sure that you vote for me. And Flerick, do you feel like being vice president or anything, or should we make you treasurer maybe?
Nope.
Which one? I think
On
treasurer.
least.
I think having you handle all the money for the United States Sumo Federation is probably the responsible way to go.
Oh, yeah. If you want to lose a lot of money, let's
Yeah.
go. I am A+.
Wait, no.
I'll
The
be
other one.
A+ embezzling.
Wait, we want to make money. Oh no.
I can do that.
we recall the Haruma Fuji, the Kakuryu lunchboxes. I mean, they're still somewhere in some storage bin.
Well, what
Just
a great
waiting
way to
for that next embezzlement scenario to come
Exactly.
around for Flerick.
What a great way to close out my pitch for USSF president by talking about embezzlement. Great. Thank you, guys. Awesome.
Well, you're not going to do it, I assume.
I assume.
Okay, you're right. Vote for me. I am not an embezzler.
I think there was another president that said, "I am not a crook." Maybe you can adopt some like peace signs. Just going like, "I am not a crook," and put your arms out real wide.
I don't know.
I don't know what you're referencing, Mac. I've never heard of this.
I know it's a great concept. I think you should adopt it.
How about we move on from here?
I was gonna say, how about let's talk sumo. Let's talk grand sumo. Let's talk about our Yusho race. We have two Rikishi tied for the lead at 7-1. We have Ozeki hopeful once again, Kirishima at Sekiwake. And we have a rejuvenated Abi just cleaning up the bottom of the Makuuchi division, both tied at 7-1. Jake, let's start with Kirishima. Is Kirishima through the first week sitting at 7-1? He has taken out Awanishiki here on day 8, but he still has Kotozakura, Hoshoryu, Onosato. For all that means, this Basho, is Kirishima legit Yusho contender, if not favorite?
I think so. You could make the argument that 3 of his top 4 hardest matches are still coming up, but he's got respectable records against these guys. He's 9-13 against Hoshoryu. That's a losing record, but not bad. Mm-hmm. Where is Kotozakura? I swear I know how to spell and look for things that are already sorted in alphabetical order. There he is, 16-7 against Kotozakura. That is a favorable matchup for him. And then Onosato, he is 0-9. So, yes, he could very easily get out of that 2-1 or 1-2 and still be just fine.
What about an Onosato that is clearly not the Onosato that we know?
If I was like Fleric and had not watched day 8 yet, I think.
Whoa!
He fixed that.
I finished it 10 minutes ago. I'll have you know. No.
Slander from the hopeful president of the UFSS. Is this the kind of thing you bring?
I play hardball. Okay, I'm a tough politician. I like to make things up about my opponents. I fit right in.
It's a winning strategy.
It's a winning strategy. Just straight lie all the time. Anyways, until day 8, I would have said Onosato had a very, very solid chance to go 10-0 against Kirishima, but today was not super cool. I'm sure we're going to talk about that more later, but as far as Kirishima's concerned, that certainly today made Kirishima's chances go up, I think, seeing how Onosato's doing. So he's been here before. I think we mentioned he's Ozeki hopeful. I think he's definitely in the discussion.
Yeah, Kirishima's been downright dominant with his sumo so far this Basho. He does have that one hiccup against Oho, who only wakes up to beat Rikishi that are ranked higher than him.
Yes.
Everybody else, he does not care. Kirishima's been very impressive just with his ability to get to the other Rikishi's belt, keep them off of his belt, and just fight for position and get into a winning position to win all of the matches that he's been in. This is the 2023 form of Kirishima that unfortunately we only really saw for 2023, but I think in this form that he's currently in, having just taken out Awanishiki by really not a close matchup between the two. Awanishiki tried to get his left hand inside. Kirishima knows that's what Awanishiki does. Blocked it. He got his own, I think he got some underhooks in there, maybe a belt. I don't remember, but he got good inside position. And Awanishiki tried to go for a headlock throw, but Kirishima had a motozashi on him, and that just wasn't going to happen. Just absolutely knocked him out of the dohyo. So Kirishima's looking great. I have zero faith in Onosato at this point in the Basho.
Wow.
I'm not completely out on Hoshoryu yet, but today that loss to Daisha was really bad. Just getting slapped down right at the Tawara. And so I'm not Kirishima in this form. I'm not scared of any of his upcoming matchups at this point. I think he could easily take this Yusho.
I was just going to say that. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Flair.
Okay. No, it's possible. I think you guys are sleeping a little bit on Onosato. And have you considered that maybe that all the top Rikishi are just a little bit nervous being in front of the Emperor? You know? Maybe they're just like, oh no, he's watching this.
That doesn't
Oh, no,
explain like
senpai.
days 3 through 7 for Ono Sato, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
Should-
no,
should
I
we-
do think he's possibly in the race. I agree with that, but I don't think it's far and away like a favorite.
Yeah, I personally, I think we'll get there when we get there. But yeah, Hoshori and Onosato, I think Ryan is insane to write off Onosato. But yeah, Kirishima, like he's only one win ahead of Hoshoryu, Onosato, Aonishiki. Like all three of those guys, I know that he's already beaten one of them and has a decent shot against the other two. But like, I don't know, man. I don't think I would even call him the favorite yet. So. Yeah, it's tough. He's in a better position than he's been in a long time, by all means, of course. But yeah, I'm not jumping on that train just yet.
Yeah, and I will give you he's looking good. Like he's looking really, really good.
He's looking like prime Kirishima.
Yeah, he's definitely he's definitely looking like that. I just think some of the top guys are just going to be really, really tough. Like Onosato, he's really, really tough to beat. So we'll see how it goes.
I don't know. Looked pretty damn easy for Hakuno Fuji today. Let's talk about Onosato.
Yeah, let's just get it over
Let's just rip that Band-Aid off. So Onosato, he is sitting at 6-2, which for Onosato at the halfway point, that's a little disappointing. But for me, he's lucky to not be 5-3 at least, if not 4-4, if not for some amazing Tawara ballet, which to his credit, incredible ring sense, incredible ability, and I'm talking about his match against Takanosho. I believe it was day 6, where I don't know that I've ever seen a rickshaw
no right to win that match.
Jump out, like jump up with both feet while slapping his opponent down, but then somehow managed to step one of those feet back in the dohyo instead of going out. Just incredible footwork by Ono Sato, where credit's due. He's a Yokozuna. Even if he's not dominating his opponent, he knows how to stay in the ring. He knows how to win a match. My thing with Ono Sato, we'll get to the Ura match in a moment. But even beyond the Ura match, which I think that should have been a loss for him there. The way that he fought against Takanosho, where it had to come down to a last second slap down save, and then his match against Daisho, where it was just another, he's not getting any forward momentum in these matches. He's having to revert to the pull down immediately, and it's coming real close against Takanosho, who's 1-7. It's coming real close against Daisho, who's 2-6. What's it going to look like when he's going up against Hoshoryu, when he's going up against Kirishima, when he's going up against even Koto Zakura, who's 5-3, but a step above Takanosho and Daisho. So I have not been impressed with Onosato. He's been getting the wins, but not the way that we expect him to, and just the way that he was absolutely bulldozed by Hakuno Fuji today, and the wince of pain that he had in his face as Hakuno Fuji got his right hand right into the left shoulder of Onosato. That's very concerning for me, and so I don't have a lot of faith in Onosato in week 2. I think it's going to be survive, stay. I think he wants to stay in. Do have a quote from him after today where he said, "I'll do my best again tomorrow. There's 1 week left. I'll focus on each and every day." So it sounds like he wants to stay in. I don't have high Yusho aspirations for Onosato after the first week.
Yeah, I think to tag in on that, I think it started with Yoshino Fuji. I mean, with getting that Kinboshi, I think that's when his confidence. I mean, again, I know he's dealing with certain injuries, but I think just seeing Yoshino Fuji take him down and getting that gold star, I'm like, ooh, is this the beginning of the end? Because then the next day against Takanosho on day 5, it was like this. It was a last second deal where all he'd had was that Tawara ballet, just like you were saying. Like, did it start with Yoshino Fuji, or was he not right going into this? That's what I keep going back and forth in my head.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I guess starting with the Takanosho and like the Tawara ballet and putting his foot in, I took away from that less so worried, just more so just very impressed with Onosato. It's kind of, you think that this is kind of like a new guy who's like, oh yeah, he's kind of still new to sumo and he's still kind of figuring stuff out. But he's been doing this all throughout college, and like he was even doing the corporate sumo bit before he joined. he has some of that kind of like ring expertise of where I know what the rules are of dead body. I need to get a foot in here. Even though we're both kind of like flying out, if I get a foot in here, I know I'm going to be good to go. And so that's just knowing what the rules are. And like one of the ththings I think about the Yokozuna and other people is just kind of some of those like crazy scenarios and able to like get out wins. And that was this kind of thing. He's shown his Yokozuna medal by just kind of be able to get that. I do think you kind of might have a point about getting into those polling situations is not ideal. He just straight up lost the Tachiai against Haku no Fuji. That's my kind of big takeaway of that. But his two losses are Yoshino Fuji, Haku no Fuji are just two of the youngsters we're looking at as like maybe potentially going to be good. I think that's more so saying that these youngsters are looking pretty good rather than Ono Sato is just like not in a place. Like he can't. Yeah, he's like, granted, he has such high highs. I kind of see what you're saying there, but I still just, I don't know. I think he still has like the body and like the yokes in the ring sense to just still get Yusho at the end.
Yeah, to me, I'm reminded of his quotes before the Basho of him saying, "My shoulder's fine, but I haven't been training as much, so I feel like my body's weaker." I can't claim to be a doctor, of course, but like it doesn't seem like his arm has been useless to him or anything. His style is definitely not as dominant as it usually is, or like he wants it to be. But I think that if you go back a year or two, like Ono Sato giving up a match per Basho, just getting blasted out by a strong pusher, that happened every time for a while. That was not uncommon. That wasn't. It's always been the thing that we recognize as like his teeny tiny shred of kryptonite against his style was strong pushers sometimes would have the chance to blast him out. And I'm not saying that that's okay, but I'm just saying like a guy that we think is really, really good doing the thing that Ono Sato generally loses by the most. I don't think it's catastrophe unless, I guess what I'm putting more credence in is as Ryan mentioned after the match, he did show he showed a very clear wince of pain during the match, and he took a minute to get up after the match. That makes me worry that he re-aggravated something that wasn't an issue for week one, you know? Yeah. So like let's just say that he was being completely honest and said, my shoulder's fine, but I feel weak. That would make the entire first week completely explicable to me. Because yes, he did get thrown off his push a lot more than he usually does, which could just come down to an issue of pure strength and conditioning. But as Flarik said, though, his Yokozuna ring sense has been excellent. Even when he does get put on the back foot, as always has happened to him from strong pushes, he's been able to recover in matches where he probably would have dropped like 4 of them, in 2 years ago Ono Sato form.
There have been a couple matches where he's been on the back foot. He just does that great like just pushing where he knows exactly when to start pulling, and it looks so calculated. It looks like this is exactly what I had to do. There have been a couple matches where he's looked very, very dominant, I guess I'm trying to say. Definitely more shaky ones, I'll give you that, but definitely some where he's just looked really dominant even when he's pulling.
Agreed. And I think that it's if you, again, to compare him to himself a couple years ago, he's better at doing the pulling. Even if it's his plan B, he's getting pushed to plan B more often than he wants to be. But when he gets there, he's so much better than he used to be at still finding a way to get those wins. Similar to Kirishima, though, I don't know that I would call him the favorite, but I do definitely think that Ryan is a little bit doomerist on his odds. So I don't know.
That's fair. I just see a guy who. Sorry.
You instantly are losing faith in Ono Sato. What is going on here? Do you have no
I'm
faith?
not instantly losing faith. I've seen 4 or 5 straight days where he doesn't look like Ono Sato. One where he should have. Let's talk about the match against Ura. I think day 3 is what it was.
Yeah.
Because it's probably the most controversial call that we've had so far this Basho, where it was a mono-e on day 3 in the match. Ura had grabbed Ono Sato's leg, lifted him up. Ono Sato lost balance, put his hands down on the ground outside the dohyo. At the same time, Ura was basically in a very deep squatting position, but hovering over the dohyo, feet firmly planted on the ground. And I believe the decision was given to Ura in that match. They call a Mono-E, and they come back together, decide Tori Naoshi, and then Onosato absolutely dominates Ura in the matchup. He's like, oh, I know what you want to do against me. Let me block that and then just walk you out of the dojo.
Goodbye.
So the explanation that, and it really seems like, why was this a Tori Naoshi? Like, Ura was not touching the ground with anything but the soles of his feet. Onosato clearly had his hands down outside of the dohyo. So the head Shimpan, Takadagawa Oyakata, his explanation was that Ura's body was dead at the same time that Onosato's hand touched the ground, so it was a rematch. So it sounds like there were people in the video replay room. They couldn't come to a unanimous decision on who won. There was at least one person saying that Ura was a dead body, but others in the room disagreed. I read an article on Nikon Sports from one of the Oyakata, I don't remember their name, that decides Kimarite. They're the ones who officially assign what the Kimarite was. And they're in the video replay room and they assist with Mono-E. And he's like, no, how could Ura be dead? He's actively throwing Onosato. How could Ura have been dead? But this other guy said that he was dead. And so since we didn't agree, the Shimpan said, all right, Tori Naoshi. So that's basically sounds like the explanation. There's one guy in the video replay room like, Ura's a dead body. And then the Shimpan are like, well, if the video replay room doesn't know, we'll just call it a rematch.
Is this like a hung jury because one guy's a sovereign citizen or something?
It sounds like it.
In the English commentary for that particular match, Murray was doing the commentating for it, and he had said that Ura's foot flipped over at the same time Onosato's hands went down. No, that was his explanation.
Yeah.
So I was looking at that going like,
I'm about to argue, but I'm going to let you. I want you to.
You won't let me finish. You won't let me finish.
Exactly.
No, I'm done. So that was what Murray saw.
Let me finish. All right, I'm finished.
I'm finished.
I have one quick question for us before we continue. Dead body. What is our definition of dead body? What do we think that means?
Apparently in a near sitting position with your butt 3 inches off the dohyo while actively throwing your opponent.
Yeah.
There's also the one where you're kind of half in the air, you're complete back to the dohyo. It's like, oh, well, he's now dead. So there was another match that was like that too.
I have never, ever, ever heard of somebody saying that guy's a dead body whilst he is fully in the ring. I don't think that we've ever seen dead body count when somebody is in the ring and both guys are falling.
Okay, we're still going with examples. What's our definition of
Okay, sorry, you're right. So an example of something that would be dead body, because we have seen a few of them this Basho, is when somebody is, usually the way it presents is somebody is fully airborne. Their feet have left the dohyo and they're never going to touch within the dohyo again in that match. And they are like outside, like if you were to make an invisible wall above the Tawara, somebody's got to be past that wall. They're out of the ring and their feet are off of the ground is generally where you see it. And it will happen where like somebody is completely blasted into orbit and they haven't landed yet, but the guy who did the pushing, his foot touches down outside the ring or something like that at the last second. That's generally where we see it, right?
We saw that with Hoshoryu versus Hakuno Fuji in the first match where Hoshoryu is throwing Hakuno Fuji, but Hoshoryu is also going down. And you see Hoshoryu's arm hits before any of Hakuno Fuji hits out of the ground. But this one, I think that was a very good Tori Naoshi because basically same instant you see Hoshoryu's arm hit the ground, you see Hakuno Fuji's second foot come up off of the ground and he's now being thrown in an unrecoverable position. So he's dead at the same time that Hoshoryu touched, and then they did the Tori Naoshi.
Speaking of, I disagree with that ruling, but I appreciate that it's a good example for this discussion.
Well, how do you I thought that was a fine call. I had no issue with that call.
I think when they were both going down like that, only the
Hoshoryu was clearly throwing Hakuno Fuji and was clearly the one initiating that throw.
Disagree, but
and anyways. Hakuno Fuji was a dead body.
That's the next topic. Let's let Fleric have his thought on this one because we're still talking about the other bullshit call before we get to the next one.
No, that one was fine. The bullshit call.
I think I'm with you on that, Ryan. Just quickly, but no, the one I'm kind of wondering is like the unrecoverable position. Is that something we say is dead body on that?
Yeah, well, I have what I was saying though is I think that I've never seen it called while somebody's in the ring. tons of times
Fair.
people are in unrecoverable positions while they're within the ring or without the ring, but like it, I don't know. I generally see dead body when somebody is well horizontally removed from the ring. And I just feel like saying, "Oh, he was falling over." Yeah, man, like every other match both guys go down. That's okay. All the time they're both falling over. This one was such a clear exception to any precedent that I've seen that I don't know. I always feel a little bit touchy, like second guessing somebody so hard on, like it's a different culture. It's a sport that we're somewhat new to. We're not really that new to it anymore. We kind of know how this stuff goes. That was stupid. That was a wrong call, right? Like, is anybody going to say otherwise?
No, I firmly think that was a bad call.
Yeah.
Same.
I'm not as angry about you guys. I think I would have went with the Ura, but I guess to kind of explain my reasoning is like looking at like I went ahead and grabbed the screenshot, and granted, unfortunately for the audio listeners, you won't be able to see this. I just pasted it into our chat, but like looking at this, to me, this looks like two people in unrecoverable position. Ura, when he did his first initial squat, looked just fine. But after that, like he's leaning back forward. It's just kind of a matter of like, who's going to touch first after that. And granted,
And Ono Sato touched.
And it was Ono Sato, yeah.
And no, Sato.
I was going to say, this is sumo. In theory, the person who touches first should be the way it goes. But I've also seen many times where it's close. Like we have to kind of like probably slow this one down to kind of get it. Maybe it's a little bit less slow down to actually kind of figure that. Maybe you don't have to slow down as much to see this in real time, what happened. But this was pretty close. And how many times have we been complaining about, hey, dang, that was pretty close, but no one really gets angry about a Tori Naoshi. Just do it again kind of thing. But I guess that's why I said it's close. We didn't really exactly know. People looked pretty both in unrecoverable positions. Let's just do it over. In the past, like I've always been pretty happy about that. So I granted it's kind of Dave versus Goliath. We Ura versus the big, powerful Yokozuna, evil Onosato. So it's kind of one of those things where 80% of the time, or 70% of the time, Onosato is going to come out as a win. So doing it again is not really the same as the two people equally matched. But I'm not as angry about this, I guess.
I think the main issue we're running into is it's an unconventional dead body than what we're kind of used to seeing. And there's even got an article that I read on Nikkon Sports of Inoue Akata that was in the video replay rooms, like firmly disagreeing with Ura being a dead body. So that's my thing is we haven't really had too much experience with seeing that called as a dead body. It probably has in the past.
It's wrong.
But
like, of course we don't have experience with them making a bad call because they usually make really good calls.
well,
All right, we need more of these matches. That just settles it. I need more close calls. I need more of this so that we can actually get a baseline of data.
I think the dead body, the explanation that it was a dead body makes it so much worse for me personally, because like I feel like to me this feels so much like protecting the Yokozuna. Because this is something that if this was a gray area and the Yokozuna was on the end of like, oh, did his heel flip over to touch the dohyo or was he a dead body? I don't think that they would do that because, I mean, if we want to talk about Hakuno Fuji versus Hoshoryu next, we can do that. But like, I just think that Ura being called a dead body there is like the worst explanation because that just doesn't make any sense. People are in unrecoverable positions constantly all the time, every other match. Like it's just because they're both going down, I don't know. It just feels so much like, I don't know. I'm never a guy to call out conspiracy, but you do know that a lot of the time people will say like, that was close. I'll point at the Yokozuna and then we'll renew it or we'll review it or something. Like that's a scenario that happens all the time. But this one, it was just like, we're like, it was close, but that doesn't mean that it can go either way. So like to me, seeing the screenshot that Ryan sent over to us, it's close, but it's clear. Even if it was like an inch or two difference, it's an inch or two difference that we can see and pinpoint that it's there, as opposed to something that might have happened simultaneously or something that, you can't decide when somebody becomes a dead body or not because of the camera angles or they're far enough away from the ring. I just don't think this is it. I don't think this is close. Or sorry, I think this is clear, even if it's close.
I think ultimately, I think I agree with you. It's just I've seen many scenarios in the past where I thought it was clear, but they just do a redo, and so I've kind of just gotten a little bit numb to this. Probably, I think that might be what's going on. But I ultimately think Oro should have done it. I'm just less angry, I guess.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's talk about Hoshoryu a little bit. We recorded our preview before some injury stuff for Hoshoryu came about, but he had his knee wrapped up before the Basho and in training, and like his doctor had said, yeah, wear it through training, but should be fine for the tournament. And then just a couple of days before the tournament, we find out Hoshoryu had to go to the hospital to get fluid drained from his knee, and that also he's dealing with a partially torn meniscus. My understanding, and I could be wrong, is that this is a lingering issue and not a new issue that occurred between Basho. From what I've seen, doesn't seem like that's affecting Hoshoryu too much in this tournament. He's sitting at 6-2. We're used to Hoshoryu over the past few tournaments getting off to no, he was 6-2 at this point last Basho as well. So we're used to Hoshoryu kind of being in this area. I don't feel like that injury is affecting him too much, as much as Onosato's either injury or lack of strength due to not being able to train his upper body is affecting Onosato. We're still seeing Hoshoryu doing what we expect. Yori Taoshi, Yori Kiri, Uwate Hineri, Yori Kiri, Hataki Komi, Yori Taoshi. He's still getting to the belt, pushing the guys to the Tawara, and then throwing them out for the most part. So Hoshoryu seems to be on his game for the most part. It was a very unfortunate loss to Daisho. It looked like he was getting Daisho pushed out the Tawara, but Daisho had enough space between them where he was able to circle around to the side and slap Hoshoryu down before going out, which was really surprising because Daisho was 1-6 before that match, and Hoshoryu was 6-1. I was absolutely not expecting that at all. We've also got Awanishiki this Basho, who is sitting at 6-2. He's picked up a couple of losses against Oho and Kirishima, basically just getting shut down by both of them. Kirishima was blocking what Awanishiki was trying to do. I think Oho, if I remember correctly, Awanishiki got a good inside position on Oho, but Oho he's been real good at just putting the locks down when somebody gets an inside position on him, clamping down with his arms and lifting them up. And Oho was able to do that against Awanishiki. But otherwise, Awanishiki has been Yori Taoshi, Yori Kiri, Yori Kiri, Yori Kiri, Yori Taoshi, Kubinage. Awanishiki's been doing Awanishiki things as well. So these guys are trucking along. But they're just not quite as maybe dominant as we would want them all to be through 1 week. So
they're just nervous about the Emperor coming.
Well, hey, and the Emperor's going to be gone. They don't got to worry about that, so they can all cruise to the 12-3 three-way playoff that we want them all to have.
Yeah, they already blew it, so they're good.
Yeah.
Now it's easy.
So we have our HOA. Which of these three, Mac, would you say looks most ready to buck up, win the rest of their matches, and take the U show?
Between the three members of our HOA, I think Aonishiki is the one here, because Onosato, if he absolutely has to, can fall back on his injuries and be like, okay, I can get 8-7. I can struggle for that. And be like, okay, I got Mikachikoshi. I'm good. Thank you. My rank is preserved. Peace out. With Hoshoryu, if it comes down to that rock, paper, scissors match, Aonishiki takes Hoshoryu. Sorry, it's going to happen. So at this point, Aonishiki's fighting for that rope. So I think this is Aonishiki's to lose. Not counting out Onosato or Hoshoryu. I'm just saying, if Onosato is not in the mix, sorry, Hoshoryu, you get beat, buddy.
All right, and we'd be remiss to say we mentioned him before. 1 win ahead of our HOA and tied with Kirishima is Maegashira 12 Abi. Fleric, Abi has won a Yusho in a very similar position where he was lower down the Bansuke. He got a feast on some Rikshi that he is clearly superior than, and then he was able to win a 3-way playoff with some dastardly Henkas. Is Abi going to do it again?
No, I don't think so. I think because there's enough people up at the top that will probably win more so than not. But I think it could come down to the scheduling. I think sometimes the schedulers kind of don't give these lower Rikishi matches until too late because they want all the Ozeki and the Yokozuna versus Yokozuna matches. So maybe something weird happens there and he sneaks into a playoff. But I think there's enough people where he's not as good at. So as soon as he starts getting matches up higher, we saw with Asano Yama, we don't know how good that guy is yet. But as soon as he had a close match, like he dropped one. He might win a couple, but I don't think he'll win every single one.
How dare you? Asano Yama is on his way back up. How dare you?
He's 5-3.
I know.
He should be feasting here if he was
I
in form.
know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jake, how are we feeling about Takayasu? He's only 1 win off the lead at this point. This is a very crowded leaderboard at this stage in the Basho because we do have the 2 at 7-1, and then we have 8 Rikshi at 6-2. So there's it's gonna be a while.
My boy, my boy,
Got some news for you, Mac. It's not gonna be she.
I love it though. He's at least in the lead for the.
All right, let's get Mac's irrational fandom of a wrestler who's never going to win a Yusho out of here, so that I can talk about Takayasu. I think Takayasu's odds of finishing day 15 with the best record are very, very good. Notwithstanding how many other people are also with that record. And I think this is I don't know, this is pretty prime for Takayasu to be like really, really good most of the Basho and put up a solid result, do great, but yeah, I'm not gonna say that he's the favorite either. It's a non-zero chance, but with Takayasu, it might as well be.
Yeah.
No, I think he's probably in like the 10 or 11 range here, and that's great. But that's kind of where I expect him to be. He has been very dominant in the wins that he's gotten. He's definitely he's in full gatekeeper mode. Like you don't get to be in the Sanyaku if you can't take out this absolute powerhouse who's good at everything. He just can't put 15 straight in a row. You know, like that's Takayasu's thing. But individual matches, yes, he will beat the tar out of a lot of people, like Hakuno Fuji. Somebody who's had other big wins this Basho. Takayasu is here to make sure you know your place, and that's a perfectly respectable place to be, I think. But yeah, he is in the Abi category of favorites to win the Yusho. You know, technically he's in the mix. I don't see it happening.
All right, so we've got 4 other Maegashira sitting at 6-2. We've got Maegashira 4, Atami Fuji, Maegashira 7, Fuji no Kawa, Maegashira 14, Shishi, and Maegashira 16, Oshoumi. Which one of these guys do we believe in the most to stay hot in week 2? I'm not going to say threaten for a Yusho because with Onosato, Hoshoryu, Awanishiki, Kirishima all still being up there, I don't think we can legitimately think that Maegashira is going to come in and win this with so many other high-ranking Rikshi also in the Yusho race. But which one of these guys could stay hot in week 2 and end up with 11 wins, maybe 12 wins if they get lucky?
I'm going to take the hottest of stupid takes here and say Oshoumi, because they're just going to forget to give him higher level matchups.
That's how I was going to do it. Fair. Because when you have a bunch of Maegashira with high records and they're in the Yusho race, and then they start moving you up against higher ranked Rikshi, they start with the higher ranked Maegashira, and then
that too.
Yeah. And so I think Maegashira 16, Oshoumi. He's probably going to be the last one of those guys to be pulled up to those high-ranking matches if all these others keep winning. And it's a big matchup on day 9. I do believe it is Atami Fuji versus Hoshoryu. Atami Fuji is 5-4 against Hoshoryu. He has a winning record. He is a big body that's been historically difficult for Hoshoryu to move. And Atami Fuji is looking the best that we've seen, maybe the best we've ever seen Atami Fuji look, even because like his best record's 11-4. We know he was real close to winning 2 U shows, or he got back-to-back June U shows when he first showed up. Those were still just 11-4 records, which I say just 11-4. I'm just saying, like, it's not like a 12-3, 13-2, like he was dominating,
right,
something like that. But this might be the best we've seen Atami Fuji look. He's just been absolutely dominant the past 6 days, racking up 6 wins in a row. So we'll see how he does, bringing it to a probably very angry Hoshoryu, and hopefully not concussed Hoshoryu, because we haven't mentioned in that match against Haku no Fuji.
Oh, yeah.
He did take a nasty shot to the head as he landed in that kind of simultaneous throw situation.
Yeah, one thing to keep in mind, though, even if you're 6-2 right now, to get those 11 wins, you got to go 5-2 in the second week, which is still a huge deal.
Yep.
And for at least a handful of these guys, that 6-2 is just the way the coin flips, and they're going to revert to the mean and have an equally bad second week and end up roughly 8-7, 7-8, like almost everybody always does, right?
Yep.
But yeah, I think of all of these guys, Oshomi, he's the guy that he pulled, or I'm sorry, I'm mixing him up with Oshoma already. That's how forgettable these. That's how forgetful I am when you put your names similar and you don't have something that makes you stick out. But yeah, Oshomi, he could end up with like 13 wins and never face anybody higher than Maegashira 10. You know, like that's within the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
But yeah, Atami Fuji, he's at Maegashira 4. He's definitely going to get thrown to the wolves if he does well. So yeah, Fuji no Kawa, I think we've all been like somewhat impressed with him. He's a very high energy, entertaining guy who does better than we would have expected for his size, but that doesn't mean that he's a Yusho threat until we see something, until he, hits another gear of his performance. I'm not expecting him in that discussion. Yeah. And Mac, if you want to talk about Shishi while the rest of us take a water break, go for it. But yeah, as far as this group goes, I don't see any threats.
Hey, Mac, I'll join you with this Shishi talk.
Hey, all right.
Why?
Now there are 2 of them.
He's looked good this Basho.
I agree.
Yeah.
Fine.
He's looked very like before he get in positions like he doesn't know what to do. But he's like kind of had plans. He had a really intense Kotanage, I think, throwing someone down.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big boy. He's a big boy. He's learning how to use his body. Like we're seeing it right now. He's pretty good.
I want him to develop more like Tochi Notion, so I want some big shoulders on this guy. I mean, the belly's cool, get some traps in there. Let's get some biceps. Let's start throwing people around a little bit more.
I will say
maybe he should work out.
I think he needs to work out.
I will say Shishi has moved up from like toddler level coordination in the dojo to like early elementary this Basho.
Hey, you got to walk before you can run, baby.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, depending on how fast he's grown, he's only had a couple years in this like troll body that he's got. He's still trying to get used to it.
I mean, he's 28.
Oh God, that's right. No, I'm wrong.
Sorry,
it's not getting
he's
better.
29.
Oh, no.
28. We turned 29 2 days ago.
It's just that he came up into the top division so recently. I forget that he's not one of these guys that made it to the top division like the second day they were on the job. But yeah, no, never mind.
He's fine.
He's been this giant ogre for a decade and he's still fumbling around like that. I mean, God love him, but but yeah, 6-2 is he's exactly what I was talking about, where reverting to the mean, I'd be impressed, but also surprised if he managed to get to 10.
Well, prepare to be surprised, sir. It's
okay. If you say so.
I want it to happen, okay?
All right, let's talk about some other things real quick. Don't need to dive deep into any of these. Anybody have any thoughts on our Komosubis, Oho and Wakamoto Haru? Wakamoto Haru, he got his first win in a big way in a Komosubi on Komosubi match on day 6 with the big Uchari against Oho on day 6. Absolutely beautiful, classic Wakamoto Haru. It's not the only Uchari we've seen. Oshoumi also busted out a beautiful Uchari earlier in the Basho. And then Oho tried to follow up with another Uchari against Awanishiki on day 7, but Awanishiki knew how to handle that. And they went on a ride off the dohyo with bad landings for both.
Hey, yeah, Oho, Wakamoto Haru, 2 other guys who busted open their face this Basho.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's been a lot of that going around.
A lot of that going around.
Well, is Oho still busting open that same mark from like
I think
2
so.
years ago?
It's like that.
It's his
same,
brow, right?
Yeah. What's the term for it where like in pro wrestling where you like bleed because you got nothing else, so you're trying to get excitement that way? There's some
I don't know
term
that
I'm
one.
thinking of. That's what it feels like though. It's like if B was writing this Basho, it'd be like, all right, everybody bleed. We got to get some ratings.
No, B is currently swimming across the ocean as we speak.
Yeah, right, of course. Sorry, I forgot where he's at in our kayfabe little universe.
Looks like Oho is scheduled for a loss tomorrow. He's fighting Ichi Yamamoto, not ranked ahead of Oho, so he's not going to be able to
Yep,
take
there you
him
go.
down.
Oho,
Oho's
you
only
better
wins.
win.
Oho is 3-5. Oho has beaten Awanishiki, Kirishima, and Koto Zakura.
Oho, you better win.
Oho has put losses on 2 of the Yusho favorites this last show, and also lost to Haku no Fuji, Ono Sato, Wakataka Kage, Wakamoto Haru, and Takayasu. I mean, he has lost to a lot of.
Yeah, Yoshino Fuji's
tough.
got a very
It's tough
silly
in the
record,
joy.
too.
It's
Yeah.
tough up there.
Ryan,
Oh, yeah,
where are you going with this logic? All the people he lost to, is he going to be doing pretty well next week? Is that what's going on?
I mean, he still has Hoshoryu. He still has he fought both Ozeki now? Yeah, I guess he only has Hoshoryu left. Yeah, I mean, that's what Oho's been doing. He sucks in week 1, and then he does just enough in week 2 to make his losing record respectable. That's just kind of been his way for the past few tournaments. So
Okay, well done of still coming out of that and still being negative on him.
I'm sorry. Let's look at his past
Ryan's
year
really
in
good at that.
Sumo.
Let's move on.
Ryan's really good at this negativity thing. Yeah, to tie that in real quick, because we haven't talked about it much, Yoshino Fuji, also a confusing record.
Yeah.
Lost to both Ozeki, beat both Yokozuna in the first 4 days. That was very silly. But yeah, overall, to put a bow on that one, though, he's looking real good. He absolutely belongs here. I'm glad to see that he's still holding his own up at his highest career rank.
Yeah, losing to Koto Zakura and Aonishiki, that's going to happen.
Yep.
Koto Zakura's looking better this Basho. He's already got 3 losses, so he's not really in prime Yusho form, but he's looking better than he had been. And then he lost to Kirishima on day 7, which that was one of my. I'll probably bring this up in our lightning round, which we're already going pretty long on the Midway episode.
For a Midway.
But I loved his match against Kirishima. Just a constant like battle for position, and Kirishima had the better position, but Yoshino Fuji kept trying to throw so many different things at him to try to get out and end up with a win. And it got close, but Kirishima took him down in the end. And then this match against Wakamoto Haru was similar. Yoshino Fuji, he had good position, but Wakamoto Haru was just able to kind of pivot and throw him a little bit better than Yoshino Fuji could. So I've been impressed with Yoshino Fuji. Been really impressed with Haku no Fuji. 4th straight tournament with a Kinboshi for Haku no
wow.
Fuji. He's gotten 3 in that span against Ono Sato and 1 against Hoshoryu back in Kyushu. But yeah, both of these guys been very impressed with. And I think Haku no Fuji, he's fought both Sekiwake, both Komosubi. He's fought Koto Zakura and both Yokozuna. So he just has Awanishiki left in the Sanyaku ranks, and then it's just going to be Maegashira for him. So I think Haku no Fuji can easily get to a winning record, probably like 9-6, 10-5 range. And based on how the rest of the ranks ahead of him are filling out and how the Komosubi are looking, we might get 2 new Komosubi slots. We could be looking at Yoshino Fuji and Haku no Fuji as our Komosubi in March, which I would sign up for in an instant. That'd be fantastic. I'm sure the Yokozuna would love it if those two were in the Sanyaku ranks and losses to them would no longer count as Kinboshi.
Right. I was just going to make a crack about you signing up for that because, like, well, yeah, you're going to podcast about it. Like, what are you going to do? Not?
I will be happy to podcast about
there
it.
you go. Okay.
Komusubi Oho.
Oh, man.
The only other person that kind of is standing out to me that we haven't talked about is Daisho, back up in the Joy for the first time since he had to sit out for a Basho back in July. He was looking better last tournament at Maegashira 10 with the 10-5, but maybe that was kind of a sign that only 10-5 record for Daisho at Maegashira 10, that he's not kind of back at that Sekiwake Komusubi level that he had been for so long. Very, very surprised to see him sitting with a 2-6 record. Of course, that one of those big ones being against Hoshoryu today, but it's been rough sledding for Daisho, and I've been a little surprised with how ineffective he's been.
Yeah, definitely. I wonder if is he just getting old, or is he not fully healed from the injury that sent him down lower?
Porque no los dos.
Fair enough.
Anybody else that you guys want to bring up through the first week?
Yeah, our two new guys from the Asa. Hey, Asa Hakuryu. He's doing okay. He's 5-3. That's well within the realm of, like, this is a new guy. He's facing some guys that haven't gotten used to him before. And let's see, how did he do to get promoted? Yeah, the last two Bashos, he was doing very, very well. He's still definitely well below his talent level overall, I think. Because he just burnt through Juryo. He went through Juryo in 2 Basho. He's a guy that's on his way up. And then there's also the other guy.
Hatsuyama's already back down in Juryo.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. he is already guaranteed a trip back to Juryo because he's 0-8 at the very bottom of the division. He's literally already guaranteed back down to Juryo.
Well, we can't say guaranteed because Nishiki Fuji went 6-9 as the last guy in the division. And
we don't talk about that. That was abomination. I feel like anytime that's brought up, you as the Banzuke guy need to, like, do the sign of the cross and, like, spill something, like, or some sort of, like,
throw salt everywhere.
Some sort of evil eye. Like, we don't talk about that.
Yeah. Anybody else in the top division we want to talk about real quick? Tamawashi's starting to look his age.
He's still
breaking records.
Yeah. Still breaking records, but he's looking like a 41-year-old more and more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Midori Fuji's been looking pretty good. His record doesn't 100% show it, but he's gotten some dominant wins against some big guys.
If Midori Fuji was as big as Hoshoryu and had that same level of fight, Midori Fuji would be ranked way higher.
Yes.
I think I'm getting deja vu. I'm pretty sure that I brought this up before. But when Fujinokawa faces Tamawashi, he's facing a guy that was on his 3rd Basho when he was born.
Yep.
So Tamawashi was already into pro sumo when Fujinokawa was born. He's been doing it for a bit. So, wow.
All right. Down in Juryo, nothing too interesting happening there. I think a disappointing start for Kazuma, but he's now sitting at 4-4, having rattled off 4 straight wins. We were kind of expecting him to kind of come up to Juryo and steamroll through everything, but that is not the case as he started off.
He's fine. He'll be fine.
Hey, he needs to get up to the top division, but
he'll be fine
by November.
Everybody in Juryo's taken at least 2 losses, though. So as per the usual with Juryo, it's going to be a tight, mediocre race.
But then we go all the way down to the bottom of the Banzuke in Jonokuchi, and we do have the strongest recruit, Asahi Fuji, is sitting at 4-0. I've seen 2 of his matches, and I could have won those matches. He won. Like, I don't really watch a whole lot of Jonokuchi sumo, and there's a good reason for it, is because it's a tough watch. It can be a very tough watch sometimes.
Although sometimes you get Tensho Yama versus Asahi Fuji. Did
that
you
was
guys
like
watch
what,
that
day
one?
one?
It
was
was
his-
day one. I think it was the
Yeah.
first match of the entire
I
tournament.
did watch that one. That was not one of the ones that I feel like
No.
I could have won.
That looked like a Makuuchi match. Both
Yeah.
of the Tensho Yama, we haven't brought him up. He's another Mongolian recruit who's 6'7" and almost 200 kilos. He's a monster. He is absolutely full. He is full size. He is a ripe one, ready to go. He and Asahi Fuji will be racing to the top division, and I do not think it will take very long. But it was very funny that the two of them faced off instantly in an incredible match between two incredibly talented, already fully developed prospects who are hilariously the lowest ranked guys out there. So yeah, that was fun.
I found my new favorite Shikona.
Okay.
No.
17-year-old from Tagonoura Beya, which is the same Beya as Takayasu, Fukumaru.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah. Before this Basho, they were just Fukuoka, but now they are Fukumaru.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
I gotta look at this now.
Wishing all the best for Fukumaru and hope to see them in the top division.
We
very
are
soon.
now watching your career with great interest.
Yes.
When you make it to Juryo, you need to add another Fuku in there.
Yeah. Fukumaru. Every division, add a new Fuku. I want 10 Fukus by the time you're in the top division.
Good Lord. Okay.
right, Jake.
So we're going to do a bit of a quick one as per usual on our Midway when we're doing GSB earning a belt. For our blue belt today, I am just going to look at two different things that relate to something that we talked about on our preview. We are going to look at, we already looked at Uwate versus Shitate, right? Who can tell me the difference
Overarm,
between those two?
underarm. Uwate
Which one's
over, Shitate is under.
Yes.
Exactly. So if you have an overarm grip, you're grabbing your opponent's belt and your arm is on the outside of their arm, that's an Uwate grip. If yours is the arm that's on the inside and your opponent's is going over the top of yours, that's a Shitate grip. So what happens if you don't have the belt but you have that position with your arm? So I want to talk about Sukui Nage and Kote Nage. Those are two. Can anybody define either of those off the top of your head? Or at least
wanna
tell me
say-
what you think they look like.
Sukui Nage is a beltless arm throw.
And
I feel
Kotenage
like-
is an elbow throw or an arm lock throw.
Yeah.
Right. So picture if you are doing a Sukui Nage to somebody, where is your arm?
I feel like underhook.
Yes, underhook is a perfect word for it. It's you don't have the belt, but your arm is on the inside, and when you don't have the belt, your arm is going to work its way up. So a Sukui Nage, you're generally using a throw where your elbow is kind of in their armpit. Your arm has worked its way up to the top, and you're throwing them the same way as if you had a grip on their belt. But instead of the grip on the belt doing the work, it's your arm underneath their arm doing the work. So that's kind of like a Shitate Nage without a belt. Your arm is in a different position, of course, as opposed to pulling on the belt, you're using the leverage of the shoulder. Does anybody know, real quick, as a side quest, what's the other Kimarite that can come from that position that looks similar but is not quite the same as throwing your opponent with that grip? This is Midori Fuji's favorite move.
Oh, it starts with a K.
Katasukashi?
Thank
Katasukashi.
you, yes.
So if you have an underhook, if your arm is under your opponent's arm and you like put your hip into their hip and you throw them, that's Sukui Nage. If you kind of back up and use that arm that's underneath their arm and you pull down on their shoulder, pulling them down from that same position is Katasukashi. That's the one that Midori Fuji uses all the time because he ends up with deep inside grips like that all the time. So yeah, if he has his right arm, for example, inside underneath his opponent's arm, he's going to back up, move to his right, and pull that arm down to pull his opponent's torso down to the ground.
Katasukashi is Hataki Komi except one underhook, and
Sure.
Sukui Nage is Shitate Nage except with an underhook.
Close.
Kind of. -ish.
Kind of. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, Sukui Nage it often looks more like a wrestling throw or a judo throw or something because the belt is not as prominent in those sports. So yeah, it's a big hip toss without grabbing anything in particular. It's just using that underhook.
I did have a new term that I learned this basho, Hazu Oshi. Anybody know Hazu Oshi? So Hazuoshi is when you get your hand into your opponent's armpits and you push them up.
Ah, sure.
That is Hazuoshi.
Yep. That's when we're doing our pushing drill at sumo practice. That's what we tell people. Find the colloquial term, find a meat pocket. Find somewhere where your hands, you're pushing out and you're pushing up with your hands. And if you can find a meat pocket where your hands can get leverage and really clamp onto something, the armpits are a great one. Under the boobs, another good one. You get your hands stuck somewhere, that gives you the leverage to push up and out. I did not know that word though. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so our other kimarite that we're going to look at here is kote nage. So yes, Mac, you brought up this is, I believe the translation is arm lock throw. And this is one that often can result in elbow injuries to the person getting thrown. But this is kind of, and the reason that I brought this one up in contrast, if you were going for an uwate grip, an overhand grip, you want your hand over your opponent's arm to go for the belt, but you don't have the belt. Instead, if you can't reach it or whatever, if you overhook and you get your arm all the way around theirs and you wrap it up, that's when you are in a potentially good situation for a kote nage. So now, similar to when skui nage, when you don't have the belt, you use your arms for the leverage. This is kind of the same path to get there, but if you have your arm over the top of your opponent's grip. So you can't reach all the way to the belt, so you just clamp down. You have your opponent's arm, their elbow will be like roughly near your armpit, and you clamp it down and you turn away from your opponent. That makes their elbow bend the wrong way, and they don't want that to happen generally. That's, in my experience, people hate that. So by using that resistance, you are pulling them down by trying to force their arm the way it doesn't want to bend, which propels them forward and down to the ground. So similar situation to, again, it doesn't look the same necessarily because the leverage doesn't work out to look like the uwate nage, but it's the same kind of idea. If you don't have the belt, there are still ways to get that leverage without getting the belt, even if you start with the same idea of, I want to reach over for an overhook. Last one here real quick. If your opponent goes for the inside grips and you get those overhooks on both sides, anybody know what that's called? You have the overhooks on...
Terunofuji special.
Terunofuji did this all the time, but he would get, when his opponents get inside, him being the tall guy, this happened to him more often, he would, by having his opponents both hands on the inside going for his belt, he would reach around their arms and pull up, bending both of their arms potentially the wrong way. Ryan, it starts with a K.
I was going to say, I know it starts with a K, but I can't think of...
Gotcha. This is, you'll see this one referred to as a kime grip. K-I-M-A. So if you wrench somebody's arms like that and work them backwards, it's a kime dashi. If you have that grip...
If you force them out.
If you force them out, yeah, exactly, backwards out the ring, that's kime dashi. If you get that double overhook grip and you're cranking down on your opponent's arms and they fall backwards, that's kime taoshi.
Yep.
But same sort of idea. I can't reach the belt, so I am going to get my leverage elsewhere. And if you have the overhand grip, or sorry, overhand position without a grip, kote nage, kime dashi, those are some options for you. If you have the underhand position but not a grip, that's where skui nage and katatsukashi can come into play. All right, we'll review those real quick at the very end, but I think we are good to take our break.
Yep.
You're listening to Grand Sumo Breakdown, the world's #1 sumo podcast, according to 3 out of 4 hosts of Grand Sumo Breakdown. Keep an eye out for our preview, midway, and recap podcasts for every professional sumo tournament and a host of bonus episodes in between. Help support us by joining our Patreon and spreading the word about our show. Every penny we raise is reinvested in improving our podcast. We also help run amateur sumo events and produce the American Sumo newsletter, which you can find on our website, grandsumobreakdown.wordpress.com. Reach out to us on social media if there's anything you'd like to learn about sumo or if you'd like to try it yourself. Welcome back. The GSB Belt is not super exciting this time around. We'll see where it ends up. But as we mentioned on our preview, we're just kind of rolling with the previous version of the GSB Belt. We're not starting it over. Although it would be kind of cool to retroactively start this over with those 2 super hot prospects being the ones to...
Ooh.
Let's see where it ends up after the Basho. Maybe we retroactively go back. Anyways, our winner's belt. We could have technically retired it last time because it made its way all the way up to Onosato at Yokozuna in Aki. He held it throughout most of the Kyushu Basho before eventually lose. Oh, yeah, he lost to Yoshino Fuji that time, too. Interesting. There you go. 2 in a row for Yoshino Fuji. But Yoshino Fuji, blah, 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 ended up on Aonishiki at the end of last Basho. And Aonishiki, I'm sure we all would have predicted he might hold on to it for more than 3 days, but he did not. Aonishiki lost to Oho, who lost to Wakamoto Haru, who lost right back to Aonishiki, who lost to Kirishima. So on day 8, Kirishima is our GSB belt holder. Very possible, since he still has some hard matchups, that could end up on a Yokozuna's waist. Or it could end up staying on Kirishima. If he wins out, of course, that would put him in the win for the Yusho. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens there. The loser's belt is now deep enough that I don't know any of these dang names. So, Kaishin Maru ended last Basho with it. He immediately beat Matsugi, who now who got the loser's belt on day 1. Matsugi lost one more time. Then he beat Sakai. And then Sakai beat Oginosho. So yeah, we're deep in Sandanme. We're currently at Sandanme 79 East on a guy that's 0-4. So we have made it to the kind of informal single elimination phase of Sandanme where that 0-4 is going to face another 0-4. And then whoever's 0-5 will face another 0-5. So we're pretty much guaranteed that this belt is going to end up on somebody that's 0-7 in Sandanme. And hopefully that person ends up being ranked low enough that they get demoted down to the lower division and we can follow the belt down there. But we'll see what happens. Bottom of Sandanme right now. This time last Basho, let's see, we were in the middle of Sandanme. So maybe it won't happen. We'll see.
Yep. All right. Quick update on the Chump standings. Things are looking good for ya boy so far because my favorite Rikishi in the world, Hatsuyama, is 0-8, has given me a point every single day of this competition, and these other schlubs selected chumps that knew how to win matches, you absolute morons.
Well, don't I look like a real donut here? Yeah.
Champs are all fairly even. We have the HOA plus Asanoyama, so Mac is a point behind the rest of us as far as champs are going, but Hatsuyama helping me out big time. I'm 3 points ahead of Mac, 4 ahead of Jake, and 5 ahead of Fleric. So feeling good at the halfway point, but we still got a lot of time to go. All right. Let's lightning the hell out of this lightning round. And you know what?
Really cruising right past that fact that he still owes us a punishment here.
That'll come at the recap. I have faith.
No reason to bring that up.
Well, okay.
I never start with myself, so I'm going to start with myself. Ryan, who has impressed you the most so far? I'm going to say Haku no Fuji. I think his sumo's been very impressive so far this Basho, so I'm going Haku no Fuji. Mac.
Kirishima. I wrote him off.
Jake.
I don't think there's super great answers for this one, so I guess I'm going to say Asa Hakuryu for 5-3 in his very first Basho up here, especially contrasting with his other newcomer who is garbage.
Fleric.
I'm going to join you. Haku no Fuji, new Shikona, new me. He's been really, really impressive. I like it. And an honorable mention to Hatsuyama, the first Mountains, first Basho. The way he's going 0-8 is
commendable.
Very, very impressive. Commendable, yes.
Never really sticking to the bit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Fleric, we'll start with you on this one. Who has disappointed you the most?
Tobizaru. I kind of miss it. He was kind of a Joy mainstay and gave us some interesting matches, but he is kind of not proving himself in mid to lower Bansuke. So it's gonna be sad to see him go. But
if he doesn't turn it around in week 2, he's 2-6 now. He could end up 4-11, 5-10. Could see him down in Jurio depending on how things shake out.
Yeah, I'm sad about it, but the youngsters coming up, I'm excited about. So I think it's only natural.
Jake.
I kind of want to say Onosato, but I feel like that's easy, so I'm going to say Ura. Yeah, I feel like as wild as he is, he usually can I don't know, wiggle out at least a couple more wins than this.
Yeah. Mac.
Takanosho, I love your sumo buddy, but come on, you're better than this.
Yeah, I'm going to say the HOA. I would have liked to see them all 7-1 at this
Fair.
point. A little bit more. All of them drop in 2 through the first week. It's a little sad because it's looking like probably like a 12-3 U show, and I want to get some 13-2, 14-1. Heck, sue me, a 15-0 would be nice for the first time in 5 years.
Blame the Emperor. It's all his fault.
Yeah.
Blair, get off the
I'm
Emperor.
disappointed in the Emperor. That's right.
There we go. There we go.
Jake, what was your favorite match of the Basho so far?
I think I got treated very well right at the beginning here. My 2 picks were from day 1 and 2. So naturally, I will default to the one that had Takayasu in it, even if he lost. Day 2, Takayasu versus Wakataka Kage. Just wild all around, cool stuff. Somehow it managed to move slow enough that I could understand what they were trying to do while still being incredibly exciting. Very cool. But as per tradition, Takayasu's in the most exciting match so far, but he did lose.
Yeah, sounds about right. Fleric.
Day 6, Gonoyama versus Fujinokawa. Fujinokawa got he got tricked at the Tachi. Yeah, he got tricked at the Tachi and was on his back foot, but then he recovered and rallied with a vengeance. He was like, "What? No, hell no!" And he just like rallied and just pushed him right out. It was glorious to see.
He wasn't bleeding, but I think that this match should get put in that same category with all the other guys who are bleeding from the face, because Fujinokawa got the piss slapped out of him for sure.
For me, my favorite match, I really liked the Kirishima versus Yoshino Fuji match. I'm really enjoying the battles for like belt position and just throw, counter throw, and all this stuff. So that was a really fun matchup to watch. What about you,
Nerd? Well, to complement the nerd reference, also Yoshino Fuji versus Aonishiki on day 2. Yoshino Fuji had Aonishiki, and Aonishiki had to pull that last-minute throw at the end and got him with the Kubinage. But still, I love seeing what we're seeing from Yoshino Fuji. I definitely think this guy is going to be danger moving up the ranks.
All right, Jake, what is the most exciting potential matchup we have left?
Man, this is exactly the category that suffers the most when the HOA isn't going great. But I will say Aonishiki versus Hoshoryu, because as we've mentioned, Onosato is kind of lucky to be sitting at 6-2. The other guys, I do think Aonishiki and Hoshoryu are likely the guys that are going to be in it towards the end, and they're always fun, even if Aonishiki does have the significant edge in the one-on-one matchup.
Yeah, for me, I'm going Hoshoryu Kirishima. I think Kirishima is going to have a lot to say about who wins this U show. And I think since Kirishima's already fought Aonishiki, the matchup against Hoshoryu, if Kirishima can beat Hoshoryu, then I think he is pretty well in line for taking the U show. So I'm going with that matchup. And it's historically been an even matchup, although I did look it up since Hoshoryu has been promoted to Ozeki. It's been heavily Hoshoryu favored.
Kirishima picked his wins up early in that rivalry.
Yep. Fleric.
I'm going to go with the HOA in general, but especially towards Hoshoryu and Aonishiki, just like Jake, because I have some belief in Hoshoryu to figure something out. I want to see it.
And Mac.
Well, not to be boring, but I think Aonishiki's matches here going forward. But I'm going to throw it up. Come on, Shishi. Ryuden. Come on. You got this tomorrow, buddy. You got this.
Oh, because it's tomorrow. I was going to say
tomorrow.
that is a wild choice for being that excited about
Because it's
something.
tomorrow.
Okay, got it. Nope,
All right.
Nope, I'm with you now.
And this is one of the most up in the air times that we've had to ask this recently. But who's going to win it? I'll start with myself. I believe in Kirishima. I got the guy being promoted to Ozeki this year. I think he can do it with a 13-2 record. Mac.
Dastardly Abi. I think he can hold it together for one more tournament. He's already
Came out
sitting
of
in good
nowhere.
position.
There's a gas leak in Mac's house the last few minutes here for sure.
Shishi. Wait.
Has Abi fought Shishi yet?
I don't know.
All right,
You do need to tell us
he
the
has
order
not.
here.
He has not. Well, I'm too busy trying to figure out if Shishi can save us from an Abiyu show, which he can. He still could. They have not
Let's
fought
go.
each other yet.
I was just gonna say, 'cause you were pausing like you were waiting for an answer, and like I definitely have not been paying attention to when I'm supposed to be going. I've been waiting on you.
We'll go Fleric. I don't care.
All right. It's close. It's tough, but I think my heart still says Onosato.
Okay.
With a close second of Aonishiki because he's the only one of the HOA who's not injured. But Onosato is my guy.
Jake, do you know the order at this point?
Oh, am I next then? If all three of you have gone, do I go next?
Yeah.
I'll pick out Nishiki. Again, of the HOA, he's the guy that I trust the most. And like we said, if you take Onosato out of the rock, paper, scissors, that's good for Aonishiki. Kirishima, I don't know. I feel like I just need to put my money where my mouth is talking about this new generation solidifying themselves. Kirishima, no, stop. Just don't do that. No. That story's over. Come on, man.
He's writing a new chapter, Jake. That's the thing. There's always a new chapter.
I don't know. I feel like of all sports, sumo is the one that has the fewest new chapters for guys when they're the age that Kirishima is.
He's only 29. He's as old as Shishi.
Oh, he is 20.
Hey.
He will turn 30 in April, though.
Oh.
Oh, then he's done for you. Yeah.
He's done. Game over.
Sorry,
All right.
Aonishiki was my answer.
Yes.
Okay.
I think this is the first time that we've ever probably gone like 4 different answers for who's going to win it. We've got a Kirishima, an Abi, an Onosato, and an Aonishiki. So congratulations, Hoshoryu, on your 3rd career U show. You've done it again. And I will be happy when that happens. I'll be happy for any of those results, except, of course, Abi, which I will not be participating in the recap if that happens.
Yeah. It'd be a real Koto Shoho of a situation, wouldn't it?
But that's all that we've got. We've got a very exciting second week to look forward to. We'll see. I'm still not 100% convinced Onosato is going to be there until the end of the tournament. So we'll see how it goes. But Mac, take us home.
And thank you for listening to Grand Sumo Breakdown. Until next time, throw your salt high and keep moving forward.
And no embezzling.
No embezzling.